Something just happened to the third interstellar object ever detected, something that wasn't supposed to happen. And the explanation NASA gave us 3 weeks ago no longer fits what astronomers are seeing right now. This is not a glitch. This is not a misreading. The object, designated 3I/Atlas, has shifted its trajectory again, and no one with a telescope and the right data can explain why. What you're about to hear might change how you think about what's really traveling through our solar system. Let's go back to the beginning, because the beginning matters. In late July 2025, astronomers in South Africa spotted something faint moving against the backdrop of stars. It wasn't moving like an asteroid. It wasn't moving like a comet. It was moving too fast, way too fast. Within days, the calculations confirmed what many suspected. This object came from outside our solar system. It wasn't ours. It had never been ours. They named it 3I/Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar visitor in human history. And at first, everything seemed almost routine. A dirty snowball from deep space, they said. An icy wanderer ejected from some distant star system billions of years ago. Case closed. But here's where things start to feel strange. When astronomers tracked 1I/Oumuamua back in 2017, they noticed something that made them uncomfortable. The object accelerated as it left the sun. Not much, but enough to measure. NASA said it was outgassing, basically invisible jets of vapor pushing it like a slow rocket. Except no one ever detected any gas. No tail, no coma, nothing. Just an object speeding up for reasons we couldn't see. Now imagine that same unsettling feeling, but worse. Because 3I/Atlas isn't accelerating on its way out. It's doing something far more unusual. It's making micro-adjustments while still approaching. Tiny, almost imperceptible shifts that only become visible when you compare orbital projections over time. And that brings us to what happened 11 days ago. Astronomers in Chile and Hawaii independently flagged the same anomaly. The predicted position of 3I/Atlas and its actual position didn't match. Not by a lot, just a few arcseconds. But in the world of orbital mechanics, a few arcseconds is a red flag. Objects in space don't just wander off course, unless something is acting on them, unless something is changing their path. NASA's initial response was calm. They attributed the discrepancy to gravitational interactions with Jupiter. Made sense. Jupiter is massive. Its gravity bends everything that passes through its sphere of influence. The numbers were adjusted, and for about a week, everything lined up again. Then came the second shift. This one was harder to explain, because this time, the deviation happened in a region where Jupiter's influence shouldn't have mattered. The object was too far, the angle was wrong, and the shift was in a direction that gravity alone couldn't account for. It wasn't being pulled, it was being pushed, or steering itself. Now, before you let your imagination run wild, there are natural explanations that scientists are exploring. Outgassing is still the leading theory. Even if we can't detect the gas, it could be there. Some volatiles sublimate in ways that are nearly invisible to our instruments. Carbon monoxide, for example, molecular nitrogen. These substances can create thrust without leaving an obvious trail. But there's a problem with this explanation. And it's a problem that keeps getting bigger. Outgassing is chaotic. It happens unevenly. It causes tumbling, wobbling, unpredictable motion. But 3I/Atlas isn't tumbling. Its rotation is stable. Its brightness fluctuates in a pattern that suggests a smooth, consistent spin. That's not how a randomly outgassing object behaves. That's how something with balanced forces behaves. That's how something under control behaves. And that word control is one that scientists are very careful not to say out loud. Not because they don't think about it, but because saying it invites chaos. It invites speculation. It invites the kind of headlines that make serious researchers cringe. But here's what I need you to understand. The scientists who study these objects aren't blind. They notice patterns. They notice when something doesn't fit. And right now, several independent teams are quietly asking the same question. What if this isn't just ice and rock? The James Webb Space Telescope has already turned its attention to 3I/Atlas. Spectroscopic data is being gathered. They're looking for chemical signatures, trying to determine what this thing is made of. So far, the results have been unusual. The spectral lines don't match any known comet composition exactly. There are similarities, yes, but also gaps, also unknowns, also readings that have forced analysts to expand their models. Some are whispering that the object might have a metallic component, not dominant, but present, hidden beneath a layer of frost, reflecting light in ways that don't quite match pure ice. If that's true, it raises another question. Where did this object form? Because in most star systems, metallic materials don't mix with volatiles the way we're seeing here. Unless this object didn't form naturally at all. I want to be clear. There is no confirmed evidence that 3I/Atlas is artificial. No signal has been detected. No structure has been resolved. But there is also no confirmed evidence that it's behaving the way a natural object should. And when you sit with that uncertainty long enough, the silence becomes its own kind of message. NASA has scheduled a press briefing for next month. They say they'll release preliminary Webb data. They say they'll address the trajectory anomalies. They say they have explanations. But they've said that before, about other things. And sometimes, the explanations raised more questions than they answered. What we do know is this. 3I/Atlas will reach its closest approach to the Sun in early 2026. After that, it will swing around and begin its long journey back into interstellar space. We will have a narrow window, maybe a year, maybe less, to learn everything we can about it. And then it will be gone, forever. Just like Oumuamua, just like Borisov. Except this time, we have better tools. This time, we're watching more closely. And this time, the object isn't playing along with our assumptions. Maybe it's just a strange comet from a strange star system, made of materials we've never seen combined in ways we don't understand. That's possible. That's even likely. But there's another possibility. One that sits at the edge of every astronomer's mind, even if they never speak it out loud. What if we're not just witnessing a visitor? What if we're being observed in return? The next few months will tell us more, but one thing already feels certain. Whatever 3I/Atlas is, it's not what we expected. And the deeper we look, the more it seems like the universe is hiding something just beyond our ability to see it clearly. We found 3 interstellar objects in less than a decade. Statistically, there should be thousands passing through our solar system at any given moment. So why did we only just start noticing them now? And more importantly, what else is out there that we haven't noticed yet?